I'd run that in lots, I think. Greetings, fellow humans. My name is MartianBuu. Today, I'm going to talk about some Paladin decks. The other day, I achieved the level 50 Yrel portrait, and in honor of that, I played a bunch of Paladin. There are actually a few options for decent Paladin decks in United and Stormwind, and here are some of the ones that I played with. First off, we have tried and true Odd Paladin. Odd Paladin is a very resilient deck. The upgraded Paladin hero power just gives it a lot of staying power. This is probably one of the safest crafts in all of Hearthstone. There hasn't really been a time since Odd Paladin came out that it hasn't been at least somewhat relevant. Games with this deck are always really consistent because of the hero power button. You want to mulligan for early stuff, so Tour Guide, Lost in the Jungle, Righteous Cause, that helps you get on board early. I like to keep Crystology just because it gives me 2 early things to do and gives me access to Broom. Between Quartermaster and Conviction, you have a lot of burst potential. So you basically spend the whole game replenishing the board every time your opponent manages to clear, and then around turn 5, if a board finally sticks, then you just kill your opponent with a bunch of burst damage. Battleground Battlemaster has been really good in this deck. It allows you to give a couple of minions Wind Fury. So on 6, you can like Conviction and then put the Battlemaster in between the 2 minions that got hit with the Conviction. Unidentified Maul is kind of in here as an ode to Reaver Ryan, who is a famous Odd Paladin player. They've been getting Unidentified Maul and just destroying me with it, so I felt like I'd try it. I don't have Barker in this deck. It always felt like the weakest part of the deck last expansion, and I was just happy to cut it to try Maul out, and I liked it for the most part. Something that I wanted to try out, but didn't get enough games in to feature in this video is Traveling Merchant. So you very reliably have a bunch of recruits out on board going into turn 3, so Traveling Merchant ends up being pretty huge. In the event that you don't, you can always trade it away and get a different card instead. I feel like it would go really well with Battleground Battlemaster. The cards that I cut for it in my list are Blessing of Authority and Loatheb. Blessing of Authority is always kind of a sometimes really good, sometimes really bad card, and Loatheb doesn't feel nearly as impactful as he did when the meta was a little bit slower. So you can stand to lose both of those and try out Traveling Merchant if you want. I thought it was pretty good. Next up, we have Tax Paladin. So Tax Paladin is a deck that tries to make your opponent's stuff more expensive and outright negate it through cards like Omayog. This deck is supposed to be a counter to Demon Seed Warlock, and while it is competitive with it, I still felt like Demon Seed Warlock was its worst matchup. If you can get a Nerebar Weblord out early, it makes it a lot harder for them to play their Kobold Librarians and things like that, but they do run Spirit Bomb, and no matter how much I was protecting it with Omayog and Never Surrender, they did always manage to seem to get through it and kill off the Weblord and then just go off the turn after. It felt very effective into other things though. It's generally a solid deck, and it does at least have some potential to beat Demon Seed Warlock. I have Mindbreaker in here because everyone was talking about how good it would be against like Raza Hunter and Demon Seed Warlock. It felt okay. I think that you could go back to just running like Galloping Savior. You could also try Robes of Protection if you want. But overall, fun deck, fast tempo, Call to Arms, good card. For this deck, you want to keep Call to Arms and Sword of the Fallen in your opener. Those are the power cards that you want all the time. If you're up against something like Secret Mage or Dark Lair, you want to keep Nerebar Weblord. And then if you're going first and you have a Righteous Protector in hand, you can keep it just because it's your only turn 1 minion, but otherwise I would toss it. And finally, we have Buff Paladin. So Handbuff Paladin actually felt like the strongest of the decks I played the other day. It gets out of control pretty quickly, and you have your chargers to punish the quest warlocks. In general, you want to keep things that pad your hand or buff your hand. So Crystology, Grime Street Outfitter, Stalhead's Pride, Alliance Bannerman, the latter 2 especially on the coin. Glowstone Technician is expensive, so you don't want to keep that one, and I feel like Smuggler's Run isn't that impactful. Especially when played on turn 1, so I don't like to keep that either. Some people have been cutting Glowstone Technician completely. It does feel pretty slow. A turn 5 play that doesn't really impact the board to set up a turn 6 play is pretty sketchy these days in WoW. Overall, this deck felt very powerful, and I had a lot of success with it. Something that Buff Paladin got this expansion that I wasn't really interested in was Prismatic Jewel Kit. The thing about Prismatic Jewel Kit is it's just hand buff but slow. You have to play this, and then you have to have Divine Shield minions out, and then it activates the hand buff. But if you're playing your minions, they're not getting buffed by the weapon. Like, it feels like it should work, but you have to run a lot of extra Divine Shield minions for something that's kind of clunky. So I didn't build around that. I feel like some people have been having some success with this, but it also feels like a much slower list. So speed is really important right now, and that's why I don't have it in my list. So those are all the Paladin decks I played the other day. I have some games for you now. I hope you enjoy, and thanks for watching. Draco Slay. Coin into this, then that, maybe? I don't know, that might be kind of a yucky curve. None will survive. I think if this gets Tour Guide, I'll coin it out. It did, so I will. Let's grow some recruits. Zoop. Duty. Yep. Uh-oh. One of those is, oh my god, our muster for battle is in trouble. Or is it?
Your tour ends here.
Hey, Skelly dude. Skelly dude, have you played the game Hades? Mustard for battle. Wasn't it safer to coin hero power in case Christology bricked? It's not the end of the world if Christology got Omayaked. Didn't they play this on one?
Reporting for duty.
Galloping Savior just for me. They might have a Galloping Savior. And I have played 2 cards. Alright. Nope, but I'm going to sometime soon when it's on Game Pass probably. Ah, well, very good. There's a character from there that your name reminds me of. That juggler just wrecked me. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that juggler. Of course I draw some draw cards. Oh no. Rabacabristo. Am I implying he's a punching bag? No. His name is Skelly, isn't it? You made your username when you were 8. Oh, I didn't necessarily think that you did it because of that game. Just making conversation. Ugh. No, we've already seen all the redemptions, right? This ought to be fine. Ah, good. They're not going to trade with the juggler if they weren't going to trade with that, right? Like, that would have been strange. Yep.
Let the dead rest. The battle.
I suppose I could have used my weapon for that, huh?
Reporting for duty.
We need to get cards out of our hand. Pretty soon they're gonna divine favor us for a bunch of cards. Why is Christology a brick? I thought it was made of a card. Yep. Blessing of Authority. Spooky. So that's Galloping Savior. We're on the 2 cards per turn train now. Also, Rally. and Divine Favor aren't cards and they can't hurt us. Okay. Ooh, our own Blessing of Authority.
What to do?
Reporting for battle.
Alright. Things are looking up. As long as these are on the board, Conviction is a lot less useful. That's why we're not trading into these. Can you claim Pound it 15 times in a row? It actually has a cooldown.
Reporting for duty.
Have you heard?
So, if I do this here, it's 14... Not enough. So I think what I'm doing is this.
The battle.
And then next turn, even if one of these dies, we have it. Do you play anything aside from Hearthstone? I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Unite recently.
Reporting for duty.
And I usually play something like whatever my friends are into, I'll play. Which a lot of the time is Monster Hunter. And boop.
Battle.
Gotten so spoiled this past week. Faced my first Secret Mage today and realized how nice it's been. Can't stick around until the end today. Will we be streaming tomorrow also? Yes. Tomorrow I will be streaming starting at 9. Chaco the Dwarf, thank you so much for following. Starting at 9 a.m. Pacific, as usual. Did the Secret Mage play any new cards? Did it get anything?
Hello.
We'll see if I regret having wasted my coin. Hey, Hunt's Worst. The hero power animation looks really cool in this skin. I agree. I already miss playing Odd Paladin. Pound it, Tyler, no. I already miss playing Odd Paladin just because I've enjoyed seeing the Yrel animation. Haha. Joke's on you. Something, something, something. It's huge. Alright, now what do I do? This. Ooh, good. The Return of the King Prage? Is that a Dead Man's Hand deck? I don't like APM decks. It's just frustrating when they're good, and I don't like having to play fast and waiting for animations, etc. Yeah, I don't think the Hearthstone should be a dexterity game. I don't hate them existing, because like some people like that playstyle, but it's not something that I want to encounter a lot. Alright, now this is a Get Wrecked Dark Glare board. It's not Dead Man's Hand? We'll see. Alright. Never hits the watch post. Aw, man. Then I think I want this Oh My Og, right? We'll play that. Maybe we'll get... Like, all of our secrets are good. So, yeah. I like how the rope in MTG gives you a bit more time when you play something, so if you're just constantly playing spells, you won't rope out. My favorite thing, okay, not my favorite thing. The most notable thing about me for MTG's rope is that I get roped on every single card I play. And that kind of ruins the experience for me.
Apple on your head. Fight.
Am I supposed to get rid of this? I guess so. We would have otherwise just given them free Molten Giants. I guess we don't want that necessarily either. Mind Blast. Hey, see you later, too. Thanks for hanging out, friend. Or L2. The only thing about rope in this game is that it doesn't punish people who end turn at the last possible second after roping every turn to waste time. I agree. I would like it if they tracked people who did that, where they like play everything in the first 5 seconds of the turn and then rope every single turn. People who do that just to kind of tilt their opponents, I would like there to be consequences for that that style of play. Who plays big anymore? Liz's favorite questline? I am pretty surprised to see it in top 100, I'll say that.
Reporting for duty.
Well, this is an interesting hand. I don't think it's necessarily bad, because we need this, but it's not great.
Reporting for duty.
The Reaver meme made it into the Tempo Storm report this week. It's funny. Man, Reaver has been just destroying me with Purifier's Maul. Like, absolutely ending my career with this. This is nuts. I've been memeing on this deck, but like, even the God card is terrible. I've been memeing on like, not necessarily, I don't know. I have personally not felt like this was the most optimal, odd paladin list, but like the pirates are tempo and this ceremonial maul is just nutty into everything I play. So I don't know. Maybe Reaver Ryan is just ahead of his time. I don't know what to do. I guess I'll pop all these divine shields. If I play the new Book of Heroes? No, I'm going to do it tomorrow right off the bat. So like at 9 a.m. Pacific tomorrow. I'll do it. Hey, do your best. You doing your best? Tradesies. This is a very good draw. Does Ryan have a Twitter with his list? No. Do I live in Pacific? I do. To get Purifier's Maul, one must become one with Odd Paladin. Yeah.
Reporting for duty.
I am certainly not one with Paladin enough to get Purifier's Maul.
Really? It's not too heavy. No, I've got this.
Alright. We have control of the board for now.
May the light grant you peace. Mount up!
Mount up! Got him.